this is point AC all over OC. And from here to here is how many? 0 to A. 0 to A. And the second stage is where?
The government have provided us with textbooks, so we used to read. Even if our teachers gave us assignments, we would go and search inside the textbook.
The government renovate our school, and also we have seen many changes, because before we have not been getting enough food, but for now we are getting enough food.
And also, if you enter our hostels, you will see our accommodation bearing. The governor have provided bed and mattress for each of the students.
Appreciate the effort of the governor. He provides many things to us like water. Before we doesn't have sufficient water in the school, but now with his effort we have water.
I don't have anything to say, but rather to extend my highly excellent gratitude to the government of this day. Why? Because they renovated all our environment here.
We are glad to appreciate his work that he has done for us. We don't know what we are saying to him. Only we say, may the Almighty God guide him and protect him, and to continue what he has done for us.
To people in the technologically advanced nations of the world, these testimonies may sound trivial, for they were the ladder through which their nations rose to greatness. However, this is Nigeria's Bauchi State, where quality education was for decades turned into an exclusive privilege of those who could afford it, rather than the right of all children. This is Bauchi State, Nigeria, where children of the poor were in not so long a distant past forced into the prehistoric era of educational pursuit. This is Bauchi State, where educational infrastructure had reached the apex of dilapidation, making school hostels to look more like refugee camps. This is the new Bauchi State, a product of the political revolution of 2007. From Ogoro in the south to Zaki in the north, from Kirfi in the eastern corner of Bauchi State to Toro in the west, a story is unfolding. Governor Yuguda's massive footprints are being engraved in the educational sector. Although political economists cannot agree on a single definition of the term development, one fact remains incontrovertible. Development can best be measured in terms of the overall well-being of the people. Consequently, for development to be said to have taken place in any polity, basic indices such as freedom from ignorance, disease and poverty must be considered. Of such indices, freedom from ignorance occupies a central position because the realities of the 21st century technology-driven world dictates that no nation can rise above the level of its educational advancement. In fact, a person's ability to free himself from the shackles of poverty and disease is often determined by the level of his intellectual ability. By all standards, Bauchi State can be described as an educationally disadvantaged state in Nigeria. Much of this disadvantage is, however, self-inflicted. Owing to serial neglect of the sector by successive administrations in the state, the educational system was in a state of coma by May 2007 when Governor Isa Yuguda assumed the mantle of leadership. Classrooms where they could be found were overcongested with hundreds of students packed like sardines in a class. But even that was a luxury, as many schools with blown-up roofs were forced to give lessons under the tree shades. Others were improvising with the use of logs of wood and stones to serve as classroom furniture. With one of the worst remuneration package in the country, dilapidated staff quarters and absence of any form of motivation, teachers' morale was at its lowest ebb. This led to a mass exodus of teachers who opted for greener pasture elsewhere. While laboratories in science schools and workshops in technical colleges were becoming extinct, students' hostels looked more like refugee camps. With the possible exception of the 3 special schools in the state, none of the over 230 public secondary schools could qualify for the term glorified primary schools. The route, which permitted all levels of the education ladder, was so disturbing that Governor Yuguda decided to declare what amounted to a state of emergency in the sector. Some schools were ordered to be shut down to give room for total reconstruction or renovation depending on the degree of rot.
It is more than a reconstruction or renovation. It is actually a rebirth of this college, because the college has witnessed an unprecedented renovation, a total overhaul of everything actually that is in the school.
The state government has issued or supplied textbooks for all the courses in the schools, and they are available for the students' use. Even mathematics sets are now given to students free of charge. Each student of this school obtains a mathematics set at the beginning of this session. So they are given to them free of charge. We also have exercise books which are distributed to the students free of charge. Enough mattresses, and all our students are using beds. When you talk of classrooms, there is none of our students that is not having a convenient seat in the class, and well-renovated classrooms.
Plus additional complex laboratory which is going to help the teaching and learning, with the hope that when this school is renovated, truly speaking, the glory of this college will surely come back.
The facilities we have in the hostels included, we have 24 rooms, we have a common room, we have the toilets at both ends. We have 16 on this side and the other one is 15. That is, we have 32 toilets. Out of the 32, we have 12 number of WCs, and the rest are showers.
Other schools that were not as badly hit remain operational while the upgrading of their infrastructure goes on.
It has been a remarkable achievement so far. In fact, we had completely lost hope, because before the coming of the present administration in the state, 100% of us, the teaching staff of this school, was residing in the town. But God, in His infinite mercy, provided Malam Isa Yuguda as the executive governor of this state, and somebody who cares for the education of the state took the bull by the horns to see that he revamped the educational sector. And fortunately, we happen to be one of those beneficiaries of his own educational policies of the state. He has renovated the staff quarters, and all the staff quarters is 100% renovated. And all of us are in the quarters now. Only those who are not able to get accommodation within the number of houses we have that are still residing in the town. And as per the students, you discover that at the initial stage, on inception of this institution, it was a single-sex institution. But with the introduction of female into technical education, girls were now admitted into the school, and there was no accommodation for them. Temporarily, they were housed in dilapidated 2 staff quarters. And in one of the visits of his executive governor, he was able to discover that there was a need to erect a befitting female hostel. And within a very short period of time, he's been able to give contract and everything is completed, and students have moved into the hostel, and there's no problem.
There is complete renovation in the school. The classrooms were provided with sitting arrangement for the students. Each and every student has got textbook for all the subjects they are offering. So there is a great achievement. In fact, since I started my career as an educationalist, there was no time that education has received such great attention.
We have acknowledged an unprecedented change of the whole atmosphere of the school during the tenure of this Excellency Governor Mala Issa Iguda. In the sense that when we were here last 2 years back, you will nearly cry. The complete tone of the school, the complete environment of the school is so alarming, so disturbing, that one can never expect a human habitation to exist here. But with his coming gesture, he came willingly one day to visit the school. On the spot, he directed the complete renovation of the school, and you see from on the ground. The entire school environment has been changed to even a university environment. That has been testified by our dear corpus. When they arrived, they said this is not only a secondary school, but a university of that nature. Because if to say it is in the southern Nigeria, that should be elevated to a university level.
Governor Issa Iguda's effort at revamping the education sector was holistic, which is why, as the reconstruction and renovation works were ongoing, government gave contracts for the supply of classroom and office furniture for use in the new structures. Contracts were also awarded for the supply of 10,000 units of double-decker beds, while 15,000 others were repaired. 45,000 units of mattresses were also supplied for students in boarding secondary schools. With this, students can no longer be mistaken for refugees in their hostels. Science laboratories were also re-equipped, while Issa Iguda gave special attention to the rehabilitation of workshops in technical colleges.
All the machines are okay?
The machines are okay, but we need some power saw, compression machine, inflating tires, some dead engines that we processes. Look at the
Allah ya nawa ne ake saidawa?
Most people that they are 40,000.
Dead engine ne?
Kuka ɗan sa parts in the basement functioning da. Saboda kowane process na koya ma yaro zai so ya gani physically.
Commissioner, kai kokari kai supply din su da different kind of engines na motoci. Daga na Mercedes, Volkswagen, Toyota, Land Rover, Honda, Peugeot, Samus, at least 2 to account. Namaka 7 days within which to do that. How you do it, I don't know. Generating sets in and I could say I'm sure. Within this, that's the cow. How big is it?
One of the 2,700 students.
Da dare akwai wuta? How many KVA ne zai sa su makaranta? At least in babu wuta da dare they can do their prep at least for 2 hours. 250. Okay, 500 to 10 kg. So I installed it.
As one of Nigeria's famous educationists once observed, no educational system can rise above the quality of its teachers. Realizing the wisdom in this, Governor Isa Yuguda decided to hold the mass exodus of teachers through a deliberate policy of improved remuneration package, rehabilitation of staff quarters, as well as training and retraining opportunities. The result is that the teaching profession was made to regain its lost glory. However, Yuguda was still not satisfied with the result, and so over 2,500 teachers were recruited or recalled from retirement and given contract appointments. Another drastic measure taken in this regard was that permanent secretaries, directors, deputy directors, and other top functionaries in the ministries whose professional training was in education were posted to the schools to serve as principals.
Well, I look at that as another milestone towards the improvement of education sector in the state. Actually, to my understanding, I think the intention of government towards that posting is to kind of improve the management, or rather administration, of schools, to kind of re-examine the administration of schools, and then to effect some kind of changes towards improving the general upliftment of education, ranging from performance of student, a reorientation of teaching staff and non-teaching staff, and then on the general, improve the general environment.
Yuguda also introduced the volunteer teachers scheme for all civil servants with the requisite qualification for teaching.
It is you and me that are supposed to fix and find a solution to this predicament that we find ourselves, the collapse of education, the complete absence of teaching staff in our schools, the complete absence of discipline. In fact, it is not impossible for some of the teachers to involve themselves in teaching, and which is why, of course, I requested the head of service to appeal to you. You may have 2 or 3 hours a week that you can go out and impart knowledge on our children. You can pick a subject. In addition to your very tight schedule as a technocrat, we can forgive you. We have 8 hours. Outside those 8 hours, we can take additional 2 hours. We can decide to take within the 10 hours. I have given you the right to take 2 hours. Work for me for 6 hours and go and teach for 2 hours.
In his characteristic style of leadership, by example, Madam Isa Yuguda left the glamour of the government house and took a chalk to donate time as a volunteer teacher. to the degree of poverty among parents, most of those whose children attend public schools find it hard, if not impossible, to purchase the required textbooks and stationeries for effective teaching and learning. Governor Isa Yuguda ordered the supply of 5 million assorted textbooks at the cost of over 2.6